Hello, and welcome to your trusted source for international news and analysis from around the globe. Today we're going to dive into the heated debate sparked by the recent tariff measures between the US and China and look at how these actions are affecting Europe. Let's get started. The authoritative German newspaper Rheinische Post published an article titled "A Destructive Tariff Race" on its Voice of the West strip. The piece argues that while tariff competition may benefit some in the short term, it will ultimately hurt everyone. Author Antje Honig begins by discussing China's alleged unfair competitive advantage through subsidies in the auto and solar industries. In response, U.S. President Joe Biden has decided to raise tariffs on Chinese goods from 25% to 100%. Honig, however, believes that this policy, despite its understandable motives, is misguided. By protecting some industries, we are sacrificing other companies' access to cheap raw materials and depriving consumers of the ability to buy inexpensive Chinese cars, she writes. Honig continues, emphasizing the chain reaction in Europe. Goods locked out of the U.S. market will flood into Europe, which could prompt the European Commission to consider import duties. But she cautions that retaliatory measures would be a mistake, as tariffs would hurt European consumers and businesses, and China could retaliate by banning imports of German luxury cars. The author concludes by calling for free trade and high-quality European products that can compete with Chinese goods without protectionism. This point of view is noteworthy because protectionism could lead to retaliation on both sides, exacerbating an already difficult situation. Meanwhile, the Swiss news Zürcher Zeitung published an article, "The EU should not follow in the footsteps of the US." The article emphasizes the need for Brussels to carefully weigh the risks of a trade war, especially given the likelihood of Chinese retaliation. The author notes that while China has subsidized its companies, the US and Europe are not blameless in this regard either. The article argues that competing with China benefits consumers by offering more choice and lower prices, and that higher tariffs are unnecessary at this stage. New Zürcher Zeitung also published a piece on foreign trade, noting that the so-called Chinese car invasion is minimal. Chinese cars account for only a small share of the European market. The newspaper advises Brussels to focus on ensuring fair market competition rather than protectionist measures. Finally, Germany's Süddeutsche Zeitung calls on the EU to develop a comprehensive strategy towards China. Author Florian Miller emphasizes that Biden's tariffs target industries that the Chinese government has identified as growth drivers, and suggests that Europe could take a different approach. Miller suggests attracting Chinese companies to produce locally, stimulating employment and technology transfer while maintaining the competitiveness of its own industry. He emphasizes the need for a clear strategy balancing trade with maintaining technological independence. These ideas are interesting because they emphasize the importance of considering long-term consequences and building mutually beneficial relationships. While the US and China are engaged in a tariff war, European voices are calling for a more measured and strategic approach. EU developments and EU-China relations are a key factor in shaping the EU's strategy towards China. The debate highlights the complexities of global trade and the importance of balancing protectionism with free market principles. That's it for today's edition. If you found this video useful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Have a great day and success in all your endeavors.